What is missing from this Dallas team to make a deep postseason run?
I think the mindset of a Cowboy player is you have the star on the side of your helmet. You get a lot of notoriety when you're a Cowboy player. You always seem to win a lot of games. You average about 13 wins a season. But the problem is, and I've said it numerous times, when the playoffs show up, the star gets very dull on the stars of the Dallas Cowboys. They don't play well. They do not play well in playoff competition, period.
Man, oh man, this is about to be one of the craziest and most important seasons in Dallas Cowboys history. If they don't make a deep playoff run, everything might blow up and this team will be back to square one. And maybe even Jerry Jones will sell the team, but I highly doubt that will happen anytime soon, if it even does in his lifetime. So I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. But it's definitely been an interesting last few years for this team, and with everyone getting older and getting paid, the roster has been slowly starting to slightly decline, and the Super Bowl window is right now. And when I mean right now, I mean this season or never. So I'm going to be talking about what this team needs to do this season to put themselves in the best spot to win it all, and I'm also going to be talking about recent news and everything that's been going on as of late. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 30k subscribers, and with your support, I truly believe we can get there super fast. Alright, so I want to start off this video talking about Dak Prescott, because he is the captain leading the ship, and people have so many different types of feelings about him. He's put up some of the best stats in the league the last couple of seasons, but now he is of course expected to get paid. And you know he wants to make as much money as possible. And that is going to limit the amount of weapons Dallas can put around him this season and in the future. In the real world, patience is a virtue. In Jerry world, patience is expensive. For the second straight contract cycle, Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys find themselves in an inexplicable game of contract chicken with Dak. The mistakes made leading up to his 4-year, $160 million deal in 2021 have left the franchise in an intensely vulnerable position as the season approaches. With Prescott's price only rising, the Cowboys run a serious risk of losing him for nothing in 2025. To understand what happens next though, you have to understand how the Cowboys got here in the first place. They handed Prescott more leverage than any other player in football when they stalled on his last deal. They're in an even more perilous position this time around. And the same can be said for CeeDee Lamb. While the Cowboys seemingly have no plans to lose Prescott and Lamb, they have really backed themselves into a corner by waiting until the final year of their existing deals to negotiate. As a result, both the quarterback and wide receiver markets have exploded. After the recent deals signed by Jaguars QB Trevor Lawrence and Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson, Prescott and Lamb have full justification to set their respective baselines at $55 million and $30 million per year. So the Cowboys really are no stranger to taking their time with Prescott. That has led many to believe that Lamb will sign first, given the position he plays and the sheer leverage he has over the front office. Prescott will also be a way bigger commitment financially. Why not get Lamb out of the way and then shift attention to Prescott, right? That's been the expectation all along. But ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler has revealed a surprising twist to things. The Cowboys want to get Prescott's deal done before Lamb. You've got Dak Prescott. The Cowboys have a world of problems here financially with 3 players they have to sign. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb as well, but the feeling around the league and sources I've talked to is that they want to start with Dak, Fowler said on SportsCenter. They've put it on the table with Dak's people that, hey look, you're a priority. We want to try and get something done. As far as the hard dollars, not a lot of progress yet. I would describe their efforts so far as passive. So, that's not the update Cowboys fans were hoping for. After all, Justin Jefferson's record-setting extension cleared a pathway for Dallas to sign Lamb. The All-Pro was reportedly waiting for Jefferson's deal to get done in his contract talks. It was also reported that negotiations between Lamb and the Cowboys were expected to heat up following the Jefferson bombshell. Lamb could always hold out into the regular season without a new deal to establish leverage, but the Cowboys could simply franchise tag him in 2025 to prevent him from reaching free agency. They don't have that safety valve with Prescott, which could explain why they've shifted their approach. But anyways, I've got to move on now. All these contract talks are definitely a big distraction, but all the guys are going to be on the roster this season, and it could very well be one last hurrah. And I know it's a different sport, but I do think you can kind of compare them to the Boston Celtics. They failed year after year, they got criticized, people said Jaylen Brown and Tatum wouldn't work, but after sticking with it year after year, they finally got their opportunity and just won a championship. So that is what Dallas is trying to do. So with Dak about to be making a ton of dough, he has to be one of the best QBs in the league to make up for them not being able to pay a few more skill position players. Winners of 12 games for 3 straight seasons, the Cowboys will have their sights set on the NFC's #1 seed. However, most would agree that repeating as division champs is more of a realistic goal. But basically, nobody cares about regular season success. It only matters what Dak and this team does in the playoffs. While the Commanders and Giants got better on paper this offseason, the Eagles are far and away Dallas's biggest competition in the NFC East. The Cowboys were literal inches away last season from sweeping Philadelphia, which choked away the division in historic fashion over the final 4 games. Anyways, getting back on topic, now I do want to talk about the Cowboys roster on paper and what they have to work with this season. So Dak is going to be under center, and last season, he threw for over 4,500 yards with 36 touchdowns, but he did run into some turnover problems that he needs to fix. CeeDee Lamb is of course the wide receiver number 1, and to me, he's the best weapon on this offense by far, and he may very well be the best receiver in the entire league. So defenses are going to game plan to stop him, and that is why the other players on this offense are really going to need to step up. Brandon Cooks is going to be the number 2 receiver on the depth chart, and honestly, I don't think that's enough. But luckily, they got Jake Ferguson at tight end, who I expect to get a ton of targets. Really, I just don't think this offense has too many weapons, especially with Zeke returning as the number 1 running back in the backfield. Really, there's a lot of pressure for some of the players on this team, but I think the person with the most amount of pressure on his shoulders is Mike McCarthy. Because if he doesn't succeed this year, he is for sure out, and so many people have wanted him gone this offseason, and even some the one before. So what are the expectations for the Cowboys in 2024? Personally, I know some of you would punch me for saying this, but I think they will go 12-5. But again, it's all about the postseason, and I think by now, a lot of the guys up and down this roster are super battle tested. They definitely know what heartbreak feels like, so it's like, all the signs point to them figuring out a way to win. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, the Cowboys addressed some of their needs over the offseason in free agency and in the draft, but there weren't too many crazy changes. That's all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, with so much going on around the NFL right now, let me know what you would like to see next. And until then, I will see you all later.